So, Dorian, the human centipede.
Yes.
The human centipede.
Yes. It's
Yeah,
infamous.
it is, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, I think it's something that even people who don't know anything about horror or anything like that, because Human Centipede was just such a buck wild concept, when it came out, that first one, everyone knew about it. The
Mhm.
fact that it existed. Like they even parodied it on South Park. Like,
Yeah, human centipede,
yeah,
I think was the
yeah.
wording. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's memes to this day from the diagrams. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. I liked to rewatch. I rewatched part
mm,
two to sit,
yeah,
yeah, to remind myself about that piece of work as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's uh,
all three of them are tonally very, very different.
mhm.
The second one is the most brutal of the lot, and the third one is just, yeah,
Mhm.
just taking that absurd concept and just running with that absurdity.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. Um, all right, should we get it started?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Welcome back, children of the popcorn. Yes, it is Mr. Popcorn. Dorian, good evening. Thank you for joining us once more. Just talk about this fucking bonkers work by Tom Six, The Human Centipede,
Yeah.
children. I'm sure
Ah.
most of you have seen it. You've all heard about it. Um, do you recommend it? Spoilers, da da
Oh.
da. Do we
Um,
recommend it before we send people off?
I would say, depending on the person's level with various different things, I mean, they're all, it's a fucked up, disgusting concept. So,
Yeah,
but of the lot of them, the first one is the most acceptable, I suppose. Like, if
yeah, I
I'm
know
going to
what you mean.
recommend any of them
I
to
know what you
anyone,
mean.
it would be the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. To see if they want to go deeper into it. But I
Yeah.
know what you're saying. It is one of those movies, and I think Wolf Creek might kind of fall
Mm.
into the same category. Its legend makes it out to be more than it is, or it's a different
Yeah.
type. You realize it's a different type of film when you sit down and watch it, because both
Yeah.
are very
Same thing for the
set.
first Saw movie as well. The
Yeah,
first
yeah,
Saw.
yeah. It falls into
Yeah.
that category as well,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, Saw's better. Saw's written
Yes.
better.
Yes.
The script's definitely, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and such. Yeah. Yeah. What's your history? What do you really think? How
Oh.
do you feel
Um,
today about Human
yeah.
Centipede? Yeah.
Yeah. When it first came out, I remember all the talk about it and all that, and I'm like, that sounds fucking disgusting. And I could not get it out of my head. Like the
Okay.
concept of it. Like,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
and then I'm like, okay, eventually I'll get around to watching them. I know that I will at some point. I don't know when I will, when I'll actually be bothered to getting around to watching them, but I'll do it at some point. And then I
Hmm.
finally did, and I'm like, oh, I actually love this. This rules. Like the third one,
Yeah.
I was kind of like the ridiculousness kind of got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm no longer having fun with it because it's going a little bit too far with the ridiculousness.
All right.
But until though it gets to that point in certain scenes with them
Hmm.
taking it a bit too far, I'm having a fun time. So
Hmm.
I still
Hmm.
had fun with the third one as well.
So did I. So
The
did I.
second
Yeah,
one's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
gnarly.
The second one's, yeah, piece of work.
Hmm.
Yes. I'm not
Yeah.
sure what I'll keep, so I'll reiterate. Yeah, I rewatched the second one. I didn't get around to the third one. I mean,
Mm.
I've seen it, but
Yeah.
I didn't quite remember how gnarly the second
Mm.
one was. And
Yeah,
yeah,
the second
it
one's
is.
insane. Yeah.
It is gnarly. It's cool. What's his name? What's his name? Do you know off the top of your head? Our little evil
Oh.
homunculus from the second one.
Yeah, I don't know his
Okay,
name.
that's okay. That's okay. We're going to get to that. It's on. It is on the
Yeah.
iceberg,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yes, lower
Yeah. It's the
down.
next one. Yeah. Next one we'll be watching.
Yeah, we may as well. We may as well. We've got
Yes.
to really. We've got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll get to him. But yes, but he delivers a fine. Uh, hmm, it's It's over the top, of course, because it has to be,
Yes.
because of the type of
Mm,
film that it's in. But you need to put a layer of disturbingness onto it, which Dieter Laser does in the Human Centipede, and
mm,
he does,
yeah.
and this our next chap does in the next movie. Yeah, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that. Um, yeah. So when you watched it, you loved it, basically, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the same to this day. I don't know if you rewatch
Yes.
close to this, but yeah, still
Yeah.
holds up entirely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Um, for myself, I first watched this. Um, there is a meme about it now, which is it
Mm,
was nothing to do with me. It
yeah.
involves the Muppets. Just there's about six of them. You know those ones.
Yeah.
And it's for the Human Centipede and a Serbian film, a double feature.
Yeah.
That meme.
It's like Ernie. Yeah. Like,
Mm.
I can't remember exactly what the caption is, but it's essentially saying that Ernie is the one in charge of deciding what movies they're watching that movie night, and that's the double feature that he's
Okay.
chosen.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, that's literally me though. I
I
would do
that
something like that and be like, I don't understand. Why are you reacting like this?
Yeah. Actually, I need the mic closer to me. Sorry. It spooked me out because I have literally lived that long before the meme existed.
Yeah.
I was in New Zealand and I
Mm.
thought, okay, let's make myself feel like complete shit. Double feature. And it was Human Centipede, then
Yeah.
a Serbian. No,
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was both of them, one after the other.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
oh, yeah. So, point being, that was my first viewing of
Yeah.
Human Centipede, yeah. And it was all just a sad, depressing nightmare, basically,
Mm.
Dorian, the whole viewing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I enjoyed it or held it,
Yeah.
close to me or anything like that. Certainly didn't, what's the word, defend it. Because this movie gets
Mm.
defended. There are people out there
Yeah.
who do defend, I've
Yeah.
noticed, which is cool because I do defend it now. I've
Mm.
rewatched it and I
Yeah.
went, no, this is hilarious. Dieter
Yes, it
Laser.
is. It's
This
so
is
funny.
yeah. It's sad and it is a slow burn,
Yeah.
but at the
Oh,
same time,
the ending is so bleak
yeah.
and so tragic, and oh, I love it.
Yeah, and so you've got the ending of a Serbian film as well, the
Mm.
big dark
Oh, yeah,
reveal at
yeah,
the end of
yeah.
that, and it's like, yeah, so it's a lot. But so you know that before going in. I mean, everyone knows what this movie is,
Yeah.
but it is of a higher quality than I think that it's put out there in meme
Mm.
culture, popular culture, mainstream,
Yeah.
love squares, whatever. So I do enjoy this film. Diesel Laser is fantastic. The concept is strong. The approach
Mm.
is Tom Six. What do you know about Tom Six?
I don't really know anything. Apparently, he is like a reality TV show producer or something.
That doesn't
Um,
surprise me in the goddamn
yeah.
slightest.
I know
Wow,
literally nothing about Tom
that's
Six.
dark.
So
That's dark. Have you ever seen him?
I mean, he plays himself in the third movie. So that's the extent of it.
That's
Like
right. He
his
does,
appearance in the third movie.
and he
Yeah.
comes in wearing what he usually wears as
Mm,
well. That's what. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's his get up. Yeah, yeah.
I
He's
love that
a
in the
dark
third
human
one
being.
because yeah. Because these
Mm.
movies get meta because in the second one, the first movie exists as a movie in that
Hmm.
universe.
Hmm.
And then in the
That
third
is
one,
yes, yes.
both the first and second movies exist as movies. And so they've got the prison, they're trying to figure out what's going, how they're going to resolve, all these prisoners and all that kind of stuff. And one of them comes up with a great idea. Hey, I watch these movies and that, we should do that. So then at one point they bring Tom Six in and they're like, hey, we've seen these movies of yours. We think you're amazing. We think you're such an auteur. And I'm like, fucking hell, are you seriously doing this, Tom Six? But then they end up showing him, they're
Wow,
giving him this tour of all this stuff that they're doing.
wow,
And then
wow.
and then Tom Six as himself, playing himself and all that. His character is like so repulsed by what he's seeing, he just goes and vomits. Then he leaves.
Uh, yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm glad he had that little bit at the end. Otherwise, he's literally
Yeah.
just, the serpent eating its own tail or a dick
Yeah,
sucking
yeah.
its own dick.
Yeah, that's literally what I was saying when I was watching it and that's happening. I'm like, this is just Tom Six sucking his own dick right now. Oh my God.
So yeah. Did you ever hear about the Onania Onania Club?
No.
ONANI, sorry, ONANIA Club. Look, Google it, children. Yeah, it's about a club of hot chicks who just sit around in like mansions near in the Mediterranean masturbating.
Mm,
That was the
okay.
trailer. Um, I I look. I'm here on Wikipedia, and there is no link for any kind of like synopsis, etc. Because it's
Mm.
to be announced.
Oh yeah.
But it's been TBA for the past 6 years.
Mm,
So they're just painting a picture there, children, of what this guy is up to. So he
yeah.
goes from that to this. He does all three, does he? There, Dorian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do you rate it overall as a trilogy?
I mean, I would say in general, like if the overall concept is something that you're like, hey, like
It's a
that
very
sounds
acquired
fucking
taste
weird,
of fucking
then
course. It's
no pun
acquired.
intended, no
Hmm.
pun intended there. Yeah, I mean, like the overall concept is it is what it is. And so, if
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
that's something that you're like, hey, I'm interested in watching that, then yes, absolutely, I do recommend it. But if that
Mhm.
concept is something that you're like, I want nothing to do with that, that's completely understandable. Stay away from it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I like it. I want
Mm,
all to do with it, I think,
yeah.
overall, all three. I do rate the franchise.
Mm,
But it is what it is, very much
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I could compare this to metaphorically.
Yeah. I really don't
Uh,
know.
yeah, I often use food. If you've seen the latest
Mm,
South Park special,
I
um,
haven't,
yeah,
but
and
I know it's about like the general concept of it.
I won't go into
Yeah.
because I don't want
Yeah.
to get into digress
Yeah.
into any side discussions, but Cartman eats what is it called, an Oppenheimer, where he has a bucket full of KFC and then three types of cereal, then milk and half a kilo of sugar on top.
Mm.
The main thing, milk and chicken, milk and KFC. Just yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
kind of what we're getting close to with this. Yeah. I mean, it is reserved. I mean, it's
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and the setting is cold. It's sterile,
Yeah.
because it's set in Germany and it's owned by a very well-to-do German surgeon
Mm.
out suburbs, deep
Yeah.
suburbs, shall we say? Yeah. Um, but the concept of what he does and what he actually pulls off, it's deranged.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
deeply disturbed. This is
Yeah.
at the very tail end of torture porn. Yeah,
Mm.
quotation marks as quoted by the media, coined by the media. So
Mm.
2000, at the very tail end of it, was a bit long on the tooth
Yeah.
by this end. So he did well to come up with something, oh, you're bored of all the,
Yeah.
people being abducted and da 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 and going through games and traps. Yeah, he got very clinical with it in Germany, because it is set in Germany, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you don't know, children, if you've never seen this, never heard of this, it's bizarre. It's bizarre, but that's okay. It's a Dutch independent body horror, Tom Six. Um, just quickly, what else has he done? He does all of his own stuff. Uh, he has acted in the Human Centipede 3, acted quotation marks, and in the new one, the Onania Club. Gay in Amsterdam, Honeys, I Love Dries, and then the Human Centipede movies. I know nothing about him outside, yeah, the
Yeah.
Human Centipede
Mm.
myself there,
Yeah.
Dorian. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes, so it's his movie entirely. The film concerns a deranged German surgeon. Rest in peace, Dieter Laser. You did fantastic work on these films. We will look up your filmography otherwise afterwards. The film concerns a deranged German surgeon who kidnaps three tourists and conjoins them surgically, mouth to anus, children.
Yeah.
Mouth to anus, Dorian. Yeah, it's
Yeah. So
forming
it's
the
one continuous digestive tract.
yes, forming the eponymous human centipede. All right, and Dieter Laser is Josef Heiter, the creator of the centipede, and Ashley C. Williams, who she's the one who comes back in part two, yeah? Was it
It
Ashley
is
or Ashlyn?
Ashlyn. Ashlyn
Okay,
comes back
cool.
in part two.
Okay, thank you. And Akihiro Kitamura as Heiter's victims. He was in Heroes. He was the biggest star, if you will. Yeah, they're doing in this movie. Okay. According to Six, the concept arose from a joke he had made with his friends about punishing a child molester by stitching his mouth to the anus of a fat truck driver.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, so we've got like this is why the terminology torture porn got thrown out there, yeah, because of people like him and Eli Roth. They would have gotten along. I reckon. I'm sure they know each other. Other sources of inspiration were Nazi medical experiments performed during World War II. Yes, by Joseph Mengele. Yeah, that's pretty much obvious when on first viewing. Yeah, this guy's meant to be Mengele. Yeah.
Yeah.
Auschwitz. Yeah. And this is, what do they say? It's Dutch. Okay. When approaching, and there is, that's because what do you think? Do you think they was trying to say anything they're saying about war there? Basically, did you think that was blatantly the point of the movie, or go?
I mean, I don't know how much of it is like intentional and how much is just a happy accident. The like they didn't have to make him a German surgeon, but they did. So
yeah, they did.
And just performing these kinds of experiments and all that, immediately your brain goes to Nazism, like Nazi stuff, right? But then also you having like the guy who's the front of the centipede being a Japanese man, and that power dynamic there. He calls him a kamikaze at one point, and so you can certainly read something into it for that. I don't know how much of it is intentional, but
there's intentionality, or there's also bro humor, and also surface level referencing of things as well. And I think Tom Six may fall into that. Yeah, Nazis are evil, speak German. Yeah. Dieter probably sounds very not like this in these movies. Yeah, it may have been amped up. It's all conjecture, but yeah, I get that feeling. But it's nothing crazy. I mean, it's obvious, it's there, but it's not. There's not swastikas on the wall with Hitler in Germany. Hitler, ranting when they walk into the house or anything like that.
Yeah,
no, it's not distracting. Okay, I'm just having a look. Otherwise, just at the basic notes before we look at plot and such, because I didn't really look too deeply into this. You know what I mean? Because I like it, but I don't care that much about it. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, they're kind of trashy. It is trashy, but it's fun. And not as bad as I thought it was once upon a time. Yeah, I will say that. Okay, yeah, World War II such performed by Joseph Mengele, Auschwitz concentration camps. Now, when approaching investors fund the Project 6, did not mention the premise of the film for fear of putting off potential backers. Finances did not discover the full nature of the film until completion. Yeah, he is a little fucker, isn't he? He's one of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was probably right in assuming that.
No, power to him. Power to him to get away with it. Absolutely.
I'd be very surprised if they were like, actually, you know what? That sounds awesome.
Great idea.
Absolutely. Here you go. Here's all this money.
So just a string of people eating ass.
Yeah.
This is what you want to put on film and us to give
Yeah.
you money to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. Yeah, and your little kind of golf safari, whatever suit. He's walked in the sky,
Yeah.
but finger guns all the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's laid himself out on the couch. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But he has, but it's a part of history. It's part of horror
Yeah.
history, Dorian. The human centipede. It
Yeah.
cannot be
Yeah.
ignored. So how was it received? Well, it was premiered at the London Fright Film Festival, 30th of August 2009. Okay, limited theatrical release in the United States. Despite a mixed critical reception, it won several accolades at international film festivals. But two sequels came along, and that's full sequence and final sequence. So this is first sequence. Yeah, that's his full title. Yeah. Okay, they were released in 2011, 2015 respectively. The entire trilogy was combined into a single film in 2016 titled Complete Sequence. Have you seen this?
No, but I want to now.
Okay,
Oh
that's
my
on the
God.
list.
Just
That's on the
back to
list.
back.
Mm.
Oh,
After we've done, that's on the list. Yeah,
yeah.
we'll cover that one there, children. Absolutely. We were both taken aback by that one, so it has to be done. Absolutely. Yeah, okay, so described as which six described as a movie centipede due to each sequence leading
Yeah, it
into its
is.
successor while
Yeah.
simultaneously
Yeah.
working as a separate standalone film. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not at this stage?
Absolutely.
Why not at this stage? Um, two's fucked. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
terms of fucked films, that's up there.
Yes.
Yeah, because
It's good.
this is disturbing. It's unnerving.
Mm.
It's hilarious at times if you have a certain sense of
Yes.
humor. Certainly at dinner time, the dinner scene.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I was laughing so hard at that.
Yeah. Yeah, just full head tilt back, just
Yeah.
guffaws. Yeah. Um, okay. Now this okay, so that's all this. Okay, so if we miss anything, let me know. This is straight off the
Yeah.
Wikipedia, yeah, because it's pretty straight to the point, this film. Yeah. The acts are very simple, and you've seen it before, but not the monster. It's a very original monster. Yeah. Frankenstein, not post 9/11. This is what, science fiction has become. Yeah. And Human Centipede is about the best thing I could speak of it. The smartest thing I could say about Human Centipede, really. Yeah. Yeah. This is, how we view humanity. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Lindsay and Jenny, tourists from New York visiting Germany, get a flat tire on their way to a nightclub and seek help at the house of misanthropic psychopathic surgeon, Dr. Josef Hater. He doesn't come across that strong at the start, though. You know what I mean? It's a classic opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's raining. There's the house. They're knocking on the door. They're wet. This has been going on exploitation film since the 1970s. Yes. This opening, we all know it. So he wants to get them inside. So he is quite polite at first, but very German.
Yes. Yeah.
Very neat, beautiful house. But no fascist ideology anywhere, or iconography or anything like that. No. Okay, moving forward. He does drug the woman with water spiked with Rohypnol. Yeah. 2009. It's all the rage. Prodigy sung about it. And kidnaps them to a makeshift, jokes, of course, and kidnaps them to a makeshift medical ward. Okay. So that's pretty much what happens in the opening here. He's talking with them. He seems weird, but they're polite. The conversation gets weirder. He gets creepier as it goes on. But
because he gives them some water, being a nice host, giving them some water. And then one of them accidentally spills water. She knocks it over and he just loses his mind. He starts yelling at her.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
And they're obviously like, oh my God, like a bit freaked out about that. And he's like, no, no,
Mhm.
I'll go get a towel.
Mhm.
And
And
while he's away, he goes and gets a syringe and fills it up with it's a sedative because he had put the Rohypnol in the water, but the girl who didn't spill her drink, she was able to drink all of that, so she was fine. She was able to be knocked out appropriately. The one who spilled her drink, that's a waste of a pill of Rohypnol. It's not going to work on
yes.
her. That's why he's getting cranky. So then he comes back and then he ends up injecting that sedative into the other girl.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how they
yeah.
get knocked out.
Yes, to the
But
basement, to
also
the
in
basement.
the opening,
Mm.
he got the trucker guy because he
Hmm.
was parked on the side of the road, and then there's a truck going by, and the guy driving the truck had stopped, gone out into the bushes to take a leak. And he's there, got him in with a
Hmm.
dart gun, knocked him out.
That's right. He used a dart gun, like he's a
Mm,
pigmy from the African jungle.
yeah.
Wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that opening, that approach. But that was a good opening, though. That was a good opening
Mm,
because very little. I
yeah.
don't think anything was said, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
no, it
Yeah,
opens straight with that. Yeah.
yeah, which is good. Which is good. Though, yeah. So just give me one second. Just having a look at the IMDb. Mhm.
Yeah, and when the
Yeah, no,
girls
it's
are
the
there with
same.
their flat, yeah, with their
It's the
flat
same.
tire,
It's okay.
yeah,
Mm, mm.
they're there waiting, like trying to figure out what to do because they don't know how to change a tire. It's raining. They don't want to get out or
Oh,
anything like that. Call some kind of you know service to pick up the car. They don't have any service, any signal because of course. So
no.
they're sitting there in the car, and then a car comes along. They're like, oh, this guy will help us out. The guy pulls up next to him. He clearly probably doesn't seem as though he speaks any English. He's there talking in German to them, but just saying like, "Oh yeah, I know who you girls are. I've seen you in porn before. Blah 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 blah. I know what you're the kind of
That's
girls that
right.
you are. I'll
Yeah,
fuck the
yeah, yeah,
both of
yeah.
you and all that."
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, what the hell is going on?
Mm. Yes, yes. That's an important tone
Yeah,
setter. It's an important tone
yeah.
setter for the
Yeah, one
film.
of them pulls up her phone and sort of quick little translate and is able to get the general gist of
Mm.
what it is that he's saying. So then they like roll out the windows and just sit there with the doors locked and just hoping he goes away. And he's just sitting there and just staring at them. They're like, why isn't he leaving?
Yeah, we've covered a few of these. Basically, I mean, no offense, it's just in the
Mm,
plot framework. Dumb Americans coming to Europe
yeah,
and getting fucked.
yeah,
Yeah, and just
yeah,
regretting it miserably. So, yeah.
yeah,
And I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. It's a good
yeah,
subgenre. It is a good
yeah,
subgenre. But yeah, Haita does kill a kidnapped truck driver after Haita informs him
yeah,
he is not a match. Yes,
yeah.
he is not a match. He's
When
also
I,
inducted, sorry,
mm,
Katsuro, the Japanese tourist. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, when I rewatched it and the girls come up to his doorstep, I'm there thinking, oh, he's probably like absolutely stoked once he's figured out that they're there alone and all that, because usually he'd have to go out hunting for him. They're just some new
Mm,
people have just turned up on his
mm,
doorstep.
mm.
Jackpot.
Yeah, yeah. And it does have like a 70s porn narrative going on
It
from like
does, it really
opening
does. Yeah,
at this point as
yeah,
well, which
yeah.
Eli Roth was doing. I don't know if he borrowed off this. I'm not sure of the release of the years. What's it called with Keanu Reeves and the two girls?
Oh
Knock
yeah,
knock.
knock
It's
knock.
knock knock. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
has a very similar kind of,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, a little bit of the
yeah.
style, but this goes to much more invent
Yeah,
creative
very different.
places. Definitely more creative places,
Yeah,
because that was just doing funny games a bit. Yeah,
yeah.
to be honest. Okay, but we have Katsura, so he's from Heroes, yes, and he plays a yeah a head part. It's a bad pun. Sorry.
Yes.
Ida is a retired, world-renowned expert at separating Siamese twins, but dreams of making new creatures by sewing humans together. He
Mm.
says he will
Oh,
surgically,
that's right. I
yeah,
just
please.
remembered at the very beginning when the opening, And he's there in his car on the side of the road. He's there crying over the picture of his dog.
Yes.
Because it
Just
was
like
a
someone
yeah,
else in German
yeah. It
history.
was a previous experiment that he tried to do
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
was
with the
also
dog.
three
Yeah.
dogs. And like it looks so bad, like the photo. It's literally just a bunch of like they look like Rottweilers, but they're
Hmm.
just standing there in the very like
They were.
static pose. And it looks as though they've just copy pasted the same dog
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and just posed in a way. So it's like as you know,
Um,
but that's a previous little pet that he had, a little dog of it. And then you see
mhm,
as it's sort of like
mhm,
panning along at one point a little headstone for it, and it's like mein
mhm.
lieber Dreihund.
Ah,
Dreihund, mein lieber
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dreihund, just as the headstone.
Which is pretty much I
Yeah,
love my dog.
yeah,
Which is pretty
yeah,
much I love my dog.
yeah.
That's quite hilarious. Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah.
because yeah, Hitler liked dogs,
Mm,
Rottweilers. I don't
yeah.
know. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Okay, Siamese twins wants to expand his skill base. Yeah, he says he will surgically connect his three victims' mouth to anus, so they will share. Yep, the single
Mm,
digestive system.
yes.
Now the third.
I absolutely love this
Uh-huh.
scene
So do
where
I.
he's explaining to them,
Mwah, it's
because it's
beautiful.
very much in the way that like if you're undergoing any kind of like surgery or any kind of medical procedure,
Hmm.
they go into like detail and informing you as to like what it is that they're going to do. So it's in that, he's doing it in the way that a surgeon would be performing operations. It's all
Hmm.
the appropriate procedures are done and sterilization and all that kind of stuff. Um, and even like that with him like explaining what it is that he's going to do, it's very technical in the way that he's describing it and very matter of fact and all that kind of thing. And it's just so horrific because they're just strapped to
Hmm.
these beds and can't do anything about it while he's telling them in detail
Hmm.
exactly what it is that he's going to do to
Yes,
them. And it's just,
absolutely.
I really love that scene.
Yeah, clear, clinical detail.
Mm,
And yeah, and these are where the memes come in. Yes, I won't bother
yeah,
pulling them
yeah.
up now.
That's where you have the
Um,
diagram in. Yeah.
yes, yes, and it is fantastic. And but I had something does matter. It'll come back. Um, yes, so the dogs. Yes, but we've already gone into that. After this come the dogs. The three dogs, and he wanted to go and join the three dogs into a Siamese triplet. They all died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, he was crying about the dogs, yes, but it's not. There's no sympathy for this character. He is highly entertaining, performed in a fantastic
Yeah.
hammer horror fashion, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it. I aspire to this sort of work they're doing. This is the
Yeah.
sort of shit I dig.
Yeah.
But Joseph Heiter is a monster. He is an
Yes.
absolute
Yeah.
monster. He does not have any empathy or sympathy. He is a complete
No.
psychopath. Yeah,
No.
clinically
Because
so.
he's wanting to do this to these. I mean, it's
Mm.
partially, because just to prove that he can, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But then
Dr.
also
Frankenstein.
he's also just wanting to have it as a pet. So he's not even viewing these people as people or anything.
Like
He's viewing it
Tusk,
like
like Tusk. Yeah,
subservient pet.
yeah.
Like because he's later on he's there trying to teach her to fetch his newspaper for him.
Lessons
Like
on
he's
the
literally
lawn.
treating it like
Yeah.
a it's a
Dog.
pet for him. Yeah.
then our man in our part 2, how he treats his
Oh
pet.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. That's
Okay. It's good stuff. It's what we're here for. It's why we came
yeah,
together to create this shit.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear. Okay, so the dogs are done. Yeah. Okay. Heiter has moved on to using human subjects. Now, Lindsay. Which one's Lindsley? Is that Ashlyn or the other one?
Um, Ashley is Lindsay, apparently.
Ashley is Lindsay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, you got that? Cool. Thank you, Doreen. I appreciate that. Okay. It tries to escape and fails. Haita decides to make her the middle part of the centipede to punish her. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the worst
yeah,
part. That's the worst part.
yeah. Yeah. She
I mean,
manages to, break out from, in the bed and all that kind of stuff. She's at one point like hiding in the pool, and the way the way that he like convinces her to like come out, he just like turns it so that the automatic like pool
Yeah.
cover like goes
Yeah.
to close. I'm thinking, oh no,
Yeah.
because I watched a movie that it was not good. It was not a good movie. But I watched a movie relatively recently where two sisters got caught in like a public pool because the cover had closed, and it was like closed for a long weekend, and they
I
were stuck
fucking
underneath.
heard about this
That movie
nonsense.
it was not a good movie. It wasn't worth
That's
it.
not
But
horror.
also like,
That's
yeah,
just misfortune.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
But also like Tobin Bell was in it at the beginning. He was like the owner of this public pool. Like, Tobin, why are you doing this?
Okay. Give him money. He obviously needs it.
Yeah.
Give him more roles.
Yeah.
Better.
Yes. Yeah.
Um okay. Yeah, but I enjoyed the way Yosef was toying with her though,
Yeah.
above though as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
Yeah.
prick. He's a prick. But yeah, she doesn't get away. Of course not. Of course not.
No.
We know
No.
where this is. We know where this is
Yeah.
going. Yes, even on the
But
first
she
viewing, you knew where
managed,
this was
yeah,
going.
there was a bit within like the bedroom where like, because you got
Mm.
like the big like massive like
Remind me.
glass like windows or whatever, and doors, and that got broken while she was trying to escape,
Yes.
because she managed to go back in, and yeah, that's right,
Yes.
because the pool cover's closing up, and then the
Get
power
away.
goes out.
Mm.
And then he's like, oh, damn it, the power's gone out, and just the way he says sorry is really funny, just that line delivery. So he goes back out to sort something out. She escapes, comes back up, and grabs Jenny, and she's like, yeah, and is there like dragging her out, and because there was a broken window that he was at, she was able to drag her out through, gets hit with the dart gun again. That's how they get back. But she's got in her head that window is still broken. But then not too long after, you see that that's been replaced. But as far as she knows, that window is still broken.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's great. It's great. Now, Haita does decide to make her the middle part of the centipede, though. There's no escaping that, unfortunately. Yeah. It is the worst part, yeah.
Yes,
the worst of both worlds, to put it, yeah, is a way to put it. Most painful position, absolutely, Wikipedia. For the healing process. That's right. This is a healing process, of course. That's very Mengele. Yeah. This is the pains are part of the healing because you will evolve. Yeah. It's on the nose. It's very on the nose. Blah, 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 blah. As punishment, Haita performs the surgery, placing Katsuro as the lead, Lindsay at the middle, and Jenny at the rear. He removes both the upper and lower front teeth and lips of Lindsay and Jenny. Okay, this is where we start, yeah? And he mutilates the buttocks of Katsuro and Lindsay to provide access to the rectums. Right, that's all making sense scientifically so far. Okay.
So the people who are attached to a butt, they've got essentially like parts of like their cheeks, essentially like a big kind of
Jokerish.
like the Joker
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
like along like that, because that's where that skin and
Mhm.
tissue and all that has been sutured onto their face.
Yes, exactly. Part two didn't go too well. It's got to stop spoiling.
No, because I mean he was not a surgeon. He
No, he
wasn't a
was not.
surgeon.
He was terrible. He was
He had no
terrible.
idea what he was
That
doing.
poor man and his buttocks fucking carving out
Yeah.
napkins. Napkin-sized triangles. All right. But no, this man, Dr. Hayter certainly knows what he's doing. Yes, because he does actually pull it off, is the crazy thing.
He also
he severs the ligaments of his victims'
Yeah.
knees to prevent leg extension, forcing his victims to crawl they cannot stand, therefore cannot escape. Quickly, anyway. Yeah. All right. He takes the centipede to the living room. He's done. He's happy. It's time to show it off. He takes photos.
Yes.
If it was
He's got a
2024,
nice little. He's
he'd
dressed
have
in
an
a
Instagram
sharp
going.
suit. Yeah.
If
He's
this was
dressed in
out
a
a few
sharp
years
suit
later.
during
Yeah.
its like big reveal.
Of course, he's done well, Dora.
He wants
This
to be
is what
dressed up
surgeons
nicely
do.
for it.
This is what surgeons do. He passes a mirror around for the segments of the centipede to view their new form. You see, because he believes he's done well. This is actually a good
He's
villain.
very
This is
proud.
good villain writing. He believes he's doing
Yeah.
the right thing for these people. He doesn't think he's doing evil. Which, yes, the Nazis did as well. Yeah. So give me a sec. Hydra attempts to train his centipede as a pet by caging the centipede in a dog kennel, forcing Katsuro to eat the dog food at dinner, and belittling Katsuro with racist insults. Yeah, there was the yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. So repeat, and beating him with a crop when he becomes rebellious. Yes, Katsuro. Yes, he doesn't go into this new situation, this new arrangement, lightly or quietly.
He bites him. It's a pretty good bite as well. He bites him on the leg.
No, I like Katsuro. I liked Katsuro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then, all right. Then it starts getting... Okay, you knew it was going to happen, children. Certainly when you're watching this movie the first time, well, they've got to, at some point, they're being force-fed dog food as well. Your stomach wants to get that out quickly. Not made for humans. Then it happens, doesn't it, Dorian?
Yeah.
I'm not stalling.
And Katsuro, and Katsuro is like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to shit. I'm sorry. And that's happening. And then, yes, feed her. And he's prancing around. He's having the time of his life. He's so happy. He's so happy. Oh my God. Like, it shouldn't be as funny as it is, but
it is. That scene, Dorian, that's where my hair flash is born out of that scene. Pretty much entirely, that's it. Yeah. Come to Evil Corp if you live in Brisbane to find out if you haven't already. Yeah, no, it's great though. This is good. This is the highlight of the movie. For me, this is the fucking high point. This is what we're here for when you sit down to watch a movie called Human Centipede. Yeah. And it does deliver. It does deliver. He does apologize profusely to the girls, but they have to swallow the excrement because what else can they do? Haita becomes irritated after being... Okay, sorry, this moves on very quickly. Haita becomes irritated after being kept awake by the screaming of a caged Katsuro, who, as the front part of the centipede, has his mouth free and is still able to speak better Japanese. Is this where he bites him? And by the constant
he's already bitten him at that point.
And by the constant moaning of the woman threatening to remove their vocal cords. Okay. Yeah, he threatens to remove their vocal cords if they don't shut up, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, when the centipede attempts to escape while Haita is swimming, all three segments are beaten with a crop. Okay, I'm calling the segments Wikipedia here. It's a very, but this is the point of the movie. Let's dehumanize these people entirely, yeah? Haita is displeased with the realization that Lindsay is constipated. Oh dear. Yeah, so layers. of depravity,
I mean,
basically. This is just depraved at
it's
this
not as
point.
though she'd be getting any fiber anyway, or any water. It's like, like, what did you
So
expect?
he's again helping her out, Dorian. He thinks
Yeah,
he's doing the right thing with the
yeah,
laxatives, which will cause her to explosively defecate and force Jenny to feed off the feces of their best friend,
yeah,
of her best friend. Before he can do this, he discovers that Jenny is dying from sepsis. Oh, it's sepsis.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, if you don't know, that's a potentially life-threatening condition that arises when the body's responses to infection causes injury to its own tissues and organs. It just
yeah,
basically expands and eats itself and dies and continues on till the body gives up. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fucked. So this film is sad and depressing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I like it.
Now, yeah, so do I. So do I. Suggesting that Lindsay may have really defecated into her mouth off camera, which led into infection.
Well, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a surprise that like infection
No,
would
it's not.
happen.
No, it's not. I just
Like,
don't. It's just that it makes this point about what humans
mm,
can do to each other. Yeah, no.
yeah,
No, that's what I think its point is.
mm,
Is there a great subtext to this, or do you think that's just pretty much the message?
yeah, that's it. I seriously
Yeah,
don't think
nah,
that any
yeah.
deeper thought was put into it.
But the setup, the way the visuals of it, and these actors
Yeah,
are good. They do sell it
mm,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah. I will say though, to Tom Six's not benefit, but to so I'm not trying to make him out to be a complete monster. I don't know the man. I don't know really what happened. So I don't know what this dude's really about, but I do know pretty much what happened on this set. That really good. They were looked after all the time. They got massages, constantly made sure they're okay. Fed, and just basically just spoiled rotten to just make sure
yeah,
they were okay. Yeah. So shout
mm,
out to Tom Six for that. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So yeah, not everyone's a fucking Kubrick.
yeah,
Not everyone's a fucking Kubrick, which is good. Okay, now we get the police.
mm,
Yes, Kranz and Voller, they're very Dutch police, yeah.
yeah,
Because, they look like they've been, they're dressed up as an idea of what they've seen on television, what private eyes dress up like, yeah.
yeah,
Visit the house to investigate the disappearance of the three tourists, which is very horror. Horror does that a lot,
mm,
actually. Heiter comes up with an idea to add them as replacements for Jenny in a new creation, a 4-segment centipede. Okay. Yeah, so he's basically knocked the cops out then, yeah? Because
yeah.
yes, yes,
That,
yes, yes,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, because they're asking him all these questions, relating to, these disappearances, and then
Mhm,
also
mhm.
like, oh, like
Mm,
this truck driver went missing as well,
mm. He
and
gets the water,
yeah, your
so
vehicle,
please
yeah,
have
your
some water,
vehicle
some
was seen
water.
nearby. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
he's pushing the water on him. He's like, no, get out of here, and
And
come back with the warrant. But
yeah,
before you
because he
leave,
loses his
drink
shit.
this
Yeah,
water.
yeah, the
Drink the water.
water.
It's like,
Yeah, it's
you're not,
very.
yeah, that's
He's an
not very
environmentalist. He
convincing.
is an
Yeah.
environment. It does not like to waste the water.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
then
good.
yeah, he has like, once again, in a syringe, a sedative. He's got that, with the towel and all that. And then he just drops it and then it's right there. They're like, "What's this about?" He's like, "Oh, I'm diabetic. That's my insulin."
Yeah, real good police work. Yeah,
Like he's trying so hard to like
real good
maintain
police work.
everything, but he's also just unraveling because like, oh no, because
Mhm.
he just flips out and starts screaming at him. He's like, oh
He's
no, no, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm overworked and I haven't been sleeping well, and I'm sorry, let me just go get you some water. And he's trying so hard to keep everything under control, but it just
Yeah.
goes to shit.
He's
Like
really
just
bad.
complete
He's a bad
chaos.
crook. He's a bad
He
crook.
is.
They're bad cops, and he's a bad crook.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
shout out to Dead Meat Podcast as well.
Mm,
Check it out, Children of the Podcast. They go a lot deeper
yeah.
into
Yeah.
this movie, and it's cool one because it's basically one person defending the other person, going,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is always fun.
Yeah.
Um, but where are we at? Where are we at? The cops get abducted, of course.
Mm,
Yeah. For Human Centipede. He offers the detectives water. He gets upset. But yeah, they have the water, and there is a scuffle, and he does win. The detectives become suspicious and obtain a search warrant for his home. Yeah. Sorry, no, there's no scuffle before that. My apologies. So they got when the detectives leave Heiter's home, so he has a chance to sort shit out before the cops come back. That's right. So this is the last big action sequence of the film,
yeah.
pretty much. The victims attempt
Yeah.
to escape. Okay, so that's
Mm,
happening at this point. Now,
yeah.
Katsuro attacks Haita. Their attempt to escape fails. If
Yeah.
anything that you remember, jump
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're being
I
kept like down in the basement while the cops are there, and they've been Katsuro's
mhm.
been screaming this entire time, like, hey, we're down in the basement, come help us kind of thing. Haven't been heard, but they managed to make their slowly and agonizingly make their way up the stairs up from that basement, and just
Yeah, they
you can
did,
see
didn't
like
they?
their
Yeah.
stitches pulling apart and
There
their
was some
knees are just
yeah.
dripping blood, like there's blood just dripping down these steps, and
What
they're just
something
agonizingly
sliced?
making their way up the
Was something
um
sliced to allow the slide up the stairs, or am I misremembering? Sorry, children.
I
I
can't
saw
remember.
this
I
film
can't
last
remember.
week. I never got a chance to
Yeah.
watch it
Yeah.
close to
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, and then Lindsay directs Katsuro to the bedroom where that
Mhm.
broken glass panel was, because again,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as
There we
far as
go.
she
Yeah, yeah,
knows,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
still broken.
Okay.
And so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's how we're gonna get out. They finally make
That's
their
right.
way there, and it's been fixed.
Yeah,
And
that
then that
sucked.
is
That
how
sucked for
Haita
them.
is able, that's how Haita's
Yeah.
able to catch up to them.
Yeah, that sucked for them. Yeah. Yeah. What did you think of the action escape sequences? Did it seem like
Oh,
there's no chance this isn't going to happen? But sure,
yeah, like yeah, there's no way, but like it
that
was
was my opinion.
really, yeah, like it was really fun watching it, and just like
Yeah.
because of how like the state that they're in, and they're still like so desperately trying,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
pushing through everything that they're
Yeah. And again,
physically suffering to
the
try
actors
to
sold it.
escape.
The actors
Mm,
sold it. Yeah. And
yeah,
Katsuro, the dude there, did a good job. I understood why
yeah,
they had him as the face. He was
mm,
obviously the most
yeah,
experienced actor out of the lot
mm,
there. Um, Actually, saying that, just pause on that for a moment there, Doran, if that's okay. Um, because I do want to look at Dieter Laser, because he has passed, and this is the first time we've touched on him, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, 64 films. Just see to what year they started. You're going back to 1978, 1975, 1968. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And earlier on he was doing films that were getting six, seven, sixes, yeah, sevens. Okay, that's cool. And that was in the 70s and 80s
Mm,
before. Yeah, okay. So he seems to be one of these legends outside of America
yeah,
that we don't know about until horror
yeah,
comes to us. So that,
that's always how it goes.
which is one of the great things about horror. But
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so that's awesome. That's awesome. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so we've got the cops, got the car. Yeah, the cops are away. Okay, they try to escape. Katsuro attacks. Their attempt to escape fails. Okay, thank you for that, Dorian. Katsuro confesses to Haita that he deserves his fate because he treated his family poorly. Katsuro is beginning to break down and lose his mind and his
mm,
spirit, yes, which is
yeah,
understandable considering.
mm,
Then takes his own life by slitting his throat with a glass shard,
yeah,
trapping the girls. Okay, so this is, yes, things are starting to.
yeah.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end, yes, and this is where the true tragedy of the piece, because there is a definite tragedy to this. There
Yeah.
is, yeah, a
Yeah.
searing tragedy, is how I felt. So you can imagine this after the, and then did I watch a Serbian film after this? I think I did. Yeah, I did. I remember. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I like that ending. I mean, obviously we'll end up getting into it more when we
You
cover a
would have
Serbian
been.
film, but the end. Oh, yes, literally, that was me. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was,
That's why you're on the pod.
oh, yes.
Because it's great,
Oh,
though. I
it's
mean, it's Serbia.
so,
I look
oh,
forward to doing it. Yeah, we are doing it for those who haven't heard. This is the
yeah,
iceberg. Of course, it's on
yeah,
it. I know after when I watched it, I went, both of these films are good, but fuck, it's a lot
mm,
just right at the moment.
yeah.
I was in the wrong state of mind to be watching these
Yeah,
films. It was
I
stupid. It was stupid. And a Serbian film does have what it has, contains what it contains, shows what it
yeah,
shows, but there is a lot of political intent behind it.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of
yeah.
purpose behind it, and it is technically really well made.
It
It's
is. It really is. Yeah,
it's like an auteur level,
yeah,
of
yeah.
production. So we'll get to that. That's going to be, yeah. But I felt like, yeah, this, like the way a Serbian film made me feel, this film at this ending, this sequence,
Yeah.
yeah, pun intended, made me feel a very similar way. Now, upon
Mm.
returning to Heiter's home, the detectives conduct separate searches as Heiter, injured, hides near his swimming pool. Franz finds the ward along with Heiter's victims. Voller begins to feel ill from the earlier drugging, and Heiter stabs him with a scalpel pulled from his foot during Katsuro's attack. Yeah, that was quite grisly.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't mind that at all. Now, upon finding Volar dead, Kranz is shot by Heiter with Volar's sidearm. Kranz responds by fatally shooting Heiter in the head before succumbing to his wounds. Yeah, all makes
Yeah.
sense. Nothing to
So,
mention.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
please.
that's all.
That's
All the
all.
people who are actually able to walk around and not attached to another person surgically, they're all dead.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. So, back to the Shakespearean level of tragedy. Back in
Yes.
the house, Jenny and Lindsay hold hands as Jenny dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, holding hands
Yep.
like
And
this, and
now, yep.
there's tears, and they sell it really well. It is really fucking
Mm.
sad. It's
Yeah.
really moving. Lindsay sobs as she is left alone in the house, trapped between, it's the middle position, the
Yep.
worst
She's in the
position
middle. Yep.
between
Surgically attached
Katsura
to
and
two
her,
now dead people.
and one of them's her best friend.
Yep.
And she's in the middle, so she just has to
Yep.
wait for her body to expire.
Yep. Unless, yeah, like unless the cops, like,
Uh-huh.
them not returning,
Nah,
and
it's
then,
not
someone
happening.
comes along to investigate, but will that happen in time for her to be saved? And can she even be saved if that did happen? Unlikely.
Nah, nah. I sure, yeah, but I like my world
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
that ending with that tragedy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good film.
Yeah. It
It's
is. Yeah.
schlocky, it's campy, it's trashy,
Yeah.
but it hits you. It fucking hits you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just even fucking talking about it. I'm gonna give it a 4 while I'm feeling
Mm.
it. Yeah, after the
Yeah.
plot reading there. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to get crazy about it or give it anymore because 4
Mhm.
is a lot, but I want to
Yeah.
celebrate this
Yeah.
film because it gets a lot of
Yeah.
hate and I don't think it deserves it.
Mm.
I think it deserves people to go back if you saw it
Yeah.
when it came out, when it was in the midst of the torture porn and the da da da. Go back and have a look at it. And this one in Wolf Creek, which we are doing very soon
Mm.
as well, because I get similar vibes from both of them. But no, this holds up. This really holds up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do recommend it. Know what you've
Mm.
got
Yeah.
in your hands before going
Yeah.
in. Of course, it's
Yeah.
the human fucking
Absolutely.
centipede. But if you're
Yeah.
one of us, then absolutely. Dorian, what say you?
Yeah. Yeah. I give it 3.5. I gave it 3.5 when I first watched it, and I'm still giving it a 3.5.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Um, Yeah, and I look forward to doing the second one. That's what we're doing right up next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we
Yep.
crossing a tier? Are we
Mhm.
crossing a tier?
Yes. Yep. This is
So it's tier
Human
3. We're
Centipede.
going a seed.
Yep. Yep.
Ooh.
First Human Centipede is the last one
Ah, so it's tier 2
from
done.
tier 2.
Okay. Let's bring it up.
Starting tier 3 with Human Centipede 2.
Let me just bring it up. While I'm doing that, if you don't mind sticking around for a bit longer, Dorian, I don't know if you're, busy or whatever. I'm going to bring up a tier. What have you been watching of recent note?
Oh,
If you please, if you have your letterbox or anything handy
let's
there.
see.
Podcast. Evil Popcorn podcast. Da, 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 da.
Okay. So yeah, let me just see of stuff that I haven't mentioned the pod before. Seen in a Violent Nature. I really like that one. We're
I'm
getting
going
a
on
second
Saturday.
movie.
I'm going on
Yes,
Saturday.
or
Yes. Second
I
movie's great. Great
saw,
news.
yeah.
Good. Congrats here to the filmmakers out there for getting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally watched the Terrifier teaser. Yeah, the Blood
Yeah.
Angel's amazing. Blood Angel's
So good,
beautiful.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What about? Have you have any interest in Joker? Foray, whatever the flip it's called.
I'll watch
At
it.
Foray.
I saw the I saw Joker, so I'll watch that
Have you seen
sequel
the
to it.
trailers? Okay,
I
I know
haven't
you
seen
don't
the trailer,
enjoy
no.
trailers. Yeah, the trailer is good though. The trailer it did pique
Mm.
me and go, okay, I'm going to see it.
Yeah. One that I
Go
watched that I was
continue, please.
talking to you about at Evil Corp called Descent into Darkness. It's like a found footage type movie. It's this guy who's from somewhere in Eastern Europe, and he's planning on doing a documentary about, just going through different
We've
places in
talked
Europe.
about this one. You've talked
Yes.
about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he starts out in Paris, and things just don't go well for him. Like, he gets robbed and all that kind of stuff. He just ends up with no money and just drinking with, just partying with people and taking too many drugs. And he probably already wasn't, he probably was already a little bit mentally unstable. And then just all of that stuff and his mental state just deteriorates and just continues and continues to spiral downward.
Fantastic.
And he's still making an attempt to make this documentary, and the ending
Oh, you've
is
got to finish the
really
job.
dark.
You got to finish the
Yeah,
fucking
the
film.
ending.
Of
Yeah,
course.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The ending is really dark.
I mean, that was the whole
Like, I
film.
wasn't expecting it to go to where it goes. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah, I
worth
must
watching
check
if
it
you
out.
like
I
found
must
footage.
check it
Yeah.
out. I must check
Yeah.
it out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have. Oh, we're doing the Human Centipede, so there's tier 2 done.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And things get a bit more crazy. I wouldn't say dark.
No.
Not super dark, but things are certainly starting to get a bit crazy. Now, we are doing Human Centipede 2.
Yeah.
All right.
If we're going
That
to
is.
continue if we're going to continue on the poop train, then we need to do Silo after we've finished Human Centipede. We need to do
right,
Silo.
okay. Yeah, that one is super dark. There is one. All right. I stand corrected with one. And yes, we do need to do that. Absolutely. Extend the sequence.
Yeah.
What about then pink flamingos and then round that off
Oh,
with
yeah,
pink
yeah.
flamingos?
Yeah, because there's some more poop eating at the end of Pink Flamingos, so
Okay, crazy. And I've never seen
that
pink
was
flamingos.
real. That wasn't done for the sake of done with like
Oh, I
movie
know.
magic and props and all that. That was real.
Divine does not,
Yes.
fake it.
No.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't.
That's going to be amazeballs. So what else do we have there, children? We have Martyrs. Yes.
Yeah. I love Martyrs.
It's beautiful. It's one of my it's in my top 10 of all
Yeah.
time. Absolutely. That film's
Yeah.
incredible. That director directs violence wonderfully.
Yeah.
Wonderfully,
Yeah, he really
that
does.
director.
Yeah.
Shoju Tsubaki. You've talked about that before on here. Serbian films on this tier. Okay, no, there is dark shit. These are actually, we're going into the iconic dark movies because there's Cannibal
Yeah.
Holocaust as well. Iceberg movies, sorry.
Mm.
Let's use that. Suicide Club, certainly heard about it, haven't seen it. I've seen the shit out of Tetsuo, and I've seen the
Yeah.
shit
That
out
one's
of the
so
house
good.
that Jack built as
Mm.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the next tier there, children, and particularly our sick children,
Yeah.
is where we get into the goodies. With the razor blades and the candy.
Yeah.
The slow
Yeah.
torture puke chamber.
Mm.
Life and death of a porno gang.
Yeah.
Snuff 102, slaughtered vomit dolls,
And
melancholy
they've
de
got like
angle.
and then they've got like the guinea pig movies and necromantic, which like I don't consider them in the same category as like August Underground.
Yeah, okay, sure,
Like they feel
sure.
tonally very different.
Yeah, I see where they're going because I think they're just thinking there's lots of guts that are thrown out of
Yeah.
bodies onto
Yeah.
surfaces, and
Yeah.
then things molested because there is a lot of molesty
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
the August Undergrounds.
Mm.
They're fucked. God, it's just the first one, yeah?
Yeah,
Or
I
does
hate the first one, but two and three for August Underground I do like. So
are we doing all three?
um I mean I'm gonna need to watch two and three not as a palate cleanser.
All right, let's do all three, yeah? You up for that?
So
Because it is kind of one. We talked about this at work in the
yeah,
makeup room. That
yeah.
it is all one story. Their character
Mm,
arcs go over all three
yeah,
films. Yeah,
yeah.
you don't get to Shelby being an actual
Mm,
likable. I know that's a
yeah,
stretch, but
exactly.
person
Yeah,
until part
yeah.
three. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot. There's a lot coming there,
Mm,
children. Don't worry. Don't worry. But if you've always been curious, yeah, and that's why you're here, you're wanting us to hold your hands through the fucked films. That horror is part of the world of. They are part of the horror world. They're certainly on the same shelf. The same section in the video store is where you'd find these
mm,
films. Yeah, down the
yeah,
bottom or way up top. But where you'd find Salo, Cannibal Holocaust, and the Serbian film. That trilogy. We're going to have to do that trilogy. That
yeah.
doesn't contradict what I just said, does it? No, because of Pink Flamingos. Um, well, it doesn't matter. I don't want to get too deep
We'll
into
figure it out
scheduling.
later.
We'll figure it out
Mm.
later. But yeah, there's cool stuff coming. Anything else you wanted to mention that you've viewed there, Dorian, recently? That you've
Um,
particularly dug? That's not up to
let me
date.
see. I finally watched Humane.
I haven't seen it
It
yet.
could have been,
No.
yeah, it could have been better. Wasn't as, like there's stuff about it that could have been done more with. The ending kind of lost me on it, but the overall like premise is one that I'm always a sucker for. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Cool.
enjoyed it overall, but like I don't know. I've seen that general concept done a little bit better, more in a more interesting way, but you
Okay.
know, interesting
Okay.
concept. So I hope Caitlin Cronenberg makes some more stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And she hasn't popped off as big as her brother has.
No,
I don't think that I mean, like, I don't think that's a sexist thing whatsoever that has come
no.
into it. I've heard no reports of anything like this as, the horror community, not Marvel, Star Wars. I'm just trying to throw as many out there.
Yeah.
I'm not pinpointing
Yeah.
one, but you know what I mean. So that's
Yeah.
good to hear. That's good to hear. I don't think I've watched anything that hasn't really been involved in the podcast that I haven't pretty much in
Mm,
some way talked to you about already
yeah.
for this month. Yeah. And so August now, the first. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm watching Humane tonight to start off because we're doing Psycho 2 tomorrow. No, I'm going to watch Psycho
Oh,
3 because
yeah.
Anthony Perkins directed Psycho 3 and
Oh,
apparently
okay.
it's bonkers. Yeah. Apparently it's absolute bonkers. Have you seen number two? Psycho
I've
2?
only seen the original, and then because of how much it's a meme on the Dead Meat podcast, I've watched the remake because they just make jokes about it all the time.
That's I've seen the
That was
remake.
why I watched it. And I'm like, why does this movie exist?
Hey, what a waste of fucking time and money. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. Gus Van Sant, I love him. He's done
Mm,
Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho. I really liked Elephant, some classic, back in the day, 80s, 90s indie stuff. He's a
yeah.
legend in that sense, but he's also can be up his own ass example.
Yeah.
That fucking movie. So all good, all good. So I think we're done here then.
Yeah.
And we're doing Human Centipede 2 next. Cool. Because I've already watched it once, and yeah, I want to go a bit deeper on it with that one. So
Mm.
thank you for doing the heavy lifting there for the Human Centipede
Yeah,
tonight there,
no worries.
Dorian. I mean, it's a very straightforward, yeah, film. We all
Yeah.
know, we've all seen it. But Human Centipede 2 is a bit more to it. It's a bit more to sink your
Mm,
teeth into.
yeah.
And I haven't heard, there's not a lot of lore is out there. That's not memed in the way that the
Mm,
first one
yeah.
is. Yeah. So I'll
Yeah.
bring a bit more to the table. Yeah, a bit more bloody popcorn to the table for the next
Yeah.
one. Yeah, for Human Centipede 2. And we are doing Psycho 2 after that. And I'm not sure what we're doing after that. It might be Body Melt. If it is, I'll let you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that's definitely on the table at some point soon.
Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
do need to rewatch that one because that one,
Yeah, okay, cool.
just upon like first rewatch, I was not able to get into it. So
Hmm.
I'm like, I need to do a rewatch
Yeah, cool, cool.
to
Yeah, I
see if
want to
that
watch
can
it.
like change my view of it.
Yeah. I'm liking that I'm learning about these little like underground
Mm.
legends making all these
Yeah.
very cool little iconic
Yeah.
films that are out there through this podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And so follow us there if you have not already at Evil Popcorn Pod. Thank you for the YouTube views. Really good. We're getting more subscribers. And basically, we're just getting like 100, 200, 300 a day as kind of a standard now there, Dorian, which is really cool. When it just started off
Yeah.
like, oh, we got 10. Yeah, but that's that's the YouTube journey. But we do
Yeah.
appreciate, tell your friends, share it around, and just, yeah, as always, talk to us, communicate with us. We're movie obsessives, as you can tell.
Mm.
So if you have any opinion about movies you want to share with us,
Mm.
we will talk with you, slash argue with you, bring you on the podcast, tell you that you're wrong, I tell you that you're right, however you want to approach it. Yeah, just, yeah, that's what we want, a community out of this more than anything else. Okay.
Mm.
And that way we can get conventions and meet cool people like the clown. You see how it
Yeah.
all works together. Yes, yes, pieces,
Yeah.
children, little kernels, kernels, pop, 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 pop. Good night, Dorian. Good night, children.
Good night.